And welcome to the Play Properly channel. Doing something different for the channel. I'm going through kind of, I guess, a faction kind of overview of the Smash Up card game. So we are going to look at the Pirates. This is my most winningest deck in Smash Up. I have won 9 times that I've got recorded, anyways. With this deck, it is by far my most winningest deck, and we'll go over the factions. We'll go over what cards are important, how I win with this deck, what combinations I like using with the Pirates. Hopefully this will make you a better player when you use the Pirates. And yeah, we'll go over the cards next. Alright, so let's talk about some of the strengths of the Pirate deck. So one of the strengths is you're going to see a lot of kill minions, especially minions of power 2 and less. So this is like one of the abilities of the Pirates, but you're not going to be using this ability too much, especially if you're in just a one-on-one match, because they're only going to have 4 twos, and you've got 2, 4, 5, like 6 kill cards. So I wouldn't hold these cards in there. Actually, Saucy Wrench is 3, so you got like tons of kill minions too. So unless you're facing somebody who's using Innsmith or Halflings or any other faction with a lot of 2s, like maybe robots, you're not probably going to be using a lot of these cards. So these cards are usually the ones I'm kind of throwing out, tossing out for having too much cards in my hand. But this is still one of the strengths of the decks. And if you do get a favorable matchup, they can come in handy. Now, another strength of the Pirates deck is movement. All these cards here, you're either moving your minions or you're moving other people's minions. So this is one of the strengths of Pirate decks. There's kind of a lot of variety here. Keep in mind that Dinghy can move up to 2 of your minions to other bases. It doesn't have to be on the same base. So a lot of people kind of make that mistake. Buccaneer, of course, it only moves when it could be destroyed, but that works well with Powder Keg too. That's a combo you might not think of. Destroy one of your minions and all minions with equal less power on the same base. You team that up with Buccaneer, you can clear everybody out on the base who might be dogpiling. So keep that combo in mind if you have power. If you have Powder Keg with Buccaneer, that could be one turn where you just wipe somebody off of a base. And he doesn't die, he just moves instead. So do keep that in mind. Yeah, so this is another strength of the deck, and then we'll talk about the important cards. Alright, so these are kind of the more important cards of the Pirate deck. These are the cards that are going to help you win. So the first mates, you might be a little bit surprised, but this is actually the way I usually win most of my games, is because of the first mates. Because after the base is scored, they may move the minion to another base to the discard pile. So there is ways where you can actually bounce your first mate from base to base and pop every single base as you go in a turn and win the game. And I've done that multiple times. So first mates are really important. So you want to protect them as much as you can. Put them onto bases where they not affected by other people's cards. You want to either put action cards on them, boosting them up. You want to put power counters on these guys. You want to get as much of that stuff as possible. The Kraken also acts as kind of like a first mate. So you can get them onto a base that you're planning to pop. You can do the same thing with somebody else besides the first mate on any other minion. And as we're talking about the Pirates, so the Pirates aren't kind of like a dog pile kind of faction where you're not putting all your minions on one base, because they have a lot of movement. So they're supposed to be, spread around, and then you're supposed to just come in and just kind of at the last second kind of take a place and plunder it. So something like the Pirate King is, full effect of that. Before a base scores, you may move this minion there. So you want him off to the side, probably in a base that nobody else is planning on popping. Full Sail, again, is an important card for this. Move any number of your minions to other bases. They don't have to be in the same base. You can also do it before a base scores. So this is another way you can come in and steal a 5-point base, 6-point base. So these are really important. This is how you kind of get your victory points to win. And some other kind of secondary cards I find that are important But these are the ones you kind of don't want to ever discard. I mean, Dinghy, again, this is another way you kind of get some more points, because remember to keep that, move up to 2 of your minions in their bases. They have to be on the same base. They can be from anywhere. Okay? Sea Dogs. This one's a little bit harder to use because you're moving a faction of other players' minions, but that can help you pop a base too. And if you can pop a base, usually I put my first mates on more higher pointed bases, unless I have them on a base to kind of protect them because I don't want them to get killed. So basically, you're gonna try to swoop in and get it, or bounce your first mates. The more you bounce your first mates, the better chances you are of winning. Another card not to think of too much, actually, while I think of it. This card is Swashbuckling. This is again more in combination when you're bouncing around your first mates. Each union's gets +1 power till their turn. Usually these cards are not really too much of, but you kind of, because the pirates, if you're kind of all out and about and you pump everybody up by 1, you can end up bouncing your first mates from base to base with their +1s, and you pop multiple bases in one time. So Swashbuckling also is one that you should keep an eye on, and it can help you win some points. Again, Shanghai is kind of like Sea Dogs too, but kind of less important. Like you move their minions to their base to help you pop it. Okay. And there I kind of already went over the Powder Keg and Buccaneer to clear off a base. Alright, so let's talk about what factions I like combining the pirates with. So basically the pirates, especially if I'm trying to win with the first mate, I like pairing them up with any decks that can kind of help me get these guys powered up. So for an example, the first mates, let's say I go Cyborg Apes. You know, I can put a shielding on them so they're not affected by their player's cards, help protect them. Juiced up, +2 power for each action, including that one. Give them +3 power. This one I'm going to use on another minion, another high-powered minion, just so basically it acts like a first mate. It can bounce around too. Imagine combining that with the Kraken. You know, have like use this, pop a base, and move them over to where the Kraken's at. You can move them again. Playing a minion, I guess minions +3 power. You want to get these first mates pumped up. So basically, Cyber Apes is one of the ones I like using. Another one, Mad Scientist. Imagine a first mate with the Uber Serum. Playing a minion, I'll go and start your turn. +1 power count on this minion cannot be destroyed. I mean, that's a perfect combination right there. That first mate is never going to be destroyed, and you're going to be bouncing around. He's going to get powerful every single turn. I mean, that is one of my favorite combinations right there. And you also got the boss there. You can put a +1 power counter on any one of your minions. Put it on a first mate. You know, Jolt, you're adding power counters. Play an extra minion. Put a +1 power counter on it. Igor, it's destroyed or discarded. +1 power counter. Playing the base. I'm going after you play a minion here. Plus +1 power counter on it. Lab Assistant, you know, again, getting these first mates pumped up. Another good one I like is the Giant Ants. You know, you place +1 power counter up to 3 of your minions. Imagine having 3 first mates out and getting that out there. You got your drones to protect your first mates. If they have a +1 power counter on them, they can't be destroyed. You remove from there. So you put the drone somewhere. Killer Queen, if you play another minion here in this turn, so you can kind of play the first mate there and get an extra power counter right away. Soldier, you can get some counters on him. He transfers it, and you can transfer it over to a first mate. Headlong, you can just move your first mate somewhere, place a +1 power counter on him. And this one's a really powerful one too. If you get a lot of counters on this guy, say you have 5 counters on there, each minion gets +1 power for each +1 power counter onto each other. So imagine 5 power counters on him. All of a sudden he's a 12 and he's bouncing around from base to base. I mean, you can't get any better than that combination right there. Other combinations, I don't like the pirates with any kind of like small minions, because they're not kind of I don't, because you got to be able to move in there and kind of bump your power up enough to take a base. So I don't like playing like with Innsmouth or halflings or robots, anything kind of with a low power. I like higher powered stuff like princesses. I like with them. I also like dinosaurs, vigilantes, any kind of deck which kind of has a lot of power. If you kind of don't want to concentrate too much on pumping up the first mates, like you don't have to. But if you play them with the pirates with a deck that has a lot of kind of higher strength minions, other things, and then when it kind of comes to mind, where you can kind of already got a high enough power, and you can start moving stuff to kind of get that extra base popping. That would also help you win with the pirates. So hopefully this video will be helpful, and because I know pirates is probably not usually a popular one to play. I know it is popular with me, and of course people I play against, they already know my first mate love, so they usually try to target them first and kill them as fast as possible. But usually they wouldn't if they were playing against somebody else. But the first mate I think is my favorite card and the most important one. But again, there's other ways to win too, which is with the movement and the Pirate King and the Full Sail. Again, are the important cards. Okay, and hopefully this will help you win games with the Pirates.